Joining us in Studio B now, another member of the BYU basketball team. And again, I introduced him as a man who was cut. Those were the words of a few Twitter fans last night. Dalton Nixon, back from his mission and playing games in the Marriott Center once again. Dalton, nice to have you back on the show.
Dalton?
Hey, it's good to be back here, guys.
Now, the last time you were in Studio B, you sent out a picture of you and the aforementioned Yoli Childs taking over the set. Now that
this
photo
was unsanctioned.
is your Twitter header.
Yeah.
What's up with that,
Yeah,
Dalton?
this is after hours. The door was locked. They got through somehow. Yeah, what happened here?
Yeah, so we had our jerseys on. We were doing our photo shoot just over here in one of the studios, and we walked past here, and we were thinking the same thing. We both looked at each other. We were like, we got to get in there. We got to take a picture. we got to take a picture. We got to send this. Got to send this on Twitter to Jerem, Spencer, everyone at BYU Sports Nation.
Yeah.
Describe the magical nature of being in those chairs.
It was a pretty special moment because I've always been in the guest chair.
Yes.
But it's a different feeling when you're in those chairs.
Did you feel the pressure?
Yeah, I felt the pressure a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. You're right.
You and Yoli look pretty good in those seats.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried now.
How did Yoli fit under this desk and you?
I think we actually had to lower the chairs.
Significant
Yeah, you had to
lowering
come
of the
back.
chair.
Yeah. I always know when Brian or Jason host because the chair's like way up. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Let's lower this.
And that's how Dalton feels when he sits in our chairs.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
are the chairs so high?
What is this? It was great to have you guys back in the Marriott Center. We saw the Cougar tip off. You got the win in New Mexico. But what was it like to play somebody else in the Marriott Center last night for the first time off your mission?
Yeah, it felt really good. It's kind of a trip for me. You know, it's been 2.5 years since I've played in the game. And so it felt really good to be back in the Marriott Center just to play a different group of guys because we've been going at it at practice every day. But it felt good to finally see some things come together on the court. There were some really good things that we saw out of the game last night. And so we're really excited to continue to get better and move forward.
How close to peak physical condition do you feel after the mission? Because that's always a thing for guys coming off the mission.
Yeah, surprisingly, I feel really, really good. It's been about 6 months since I've been home. And so I really just tried to focus on getting stronger in the off season and put in a lot of hard work with Coach Shork, our new strength coach. And I feel really good, feel a lot better and more athletic than I did my freshman year for sure.
Can you beat your dad in an arm wrestle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't have old man strength yet?
Yeah, he doesn't have that yet.
It kicks in later, apparently. Yeah, let's keep him off Twitter, too, by the way. Anyways, what's the best thing that happened to the team last night? What did you learn? What did you really like?
I think seeing our half-court execution, specifically in that first half with Yoli, was really good. You saw,
all right.
Yeah, you saw Yoli do some really good things, really close to the basket, and that's what we were trying to do is get him the ball in those positions. And I think our half-court execution and also our half-court defense and our toughness is improving.
If I say the word concepts, what comes to mind?
When I think of concepts, I think of moving the ball side to side. That's something that we were really trying to focus on is being able to have the guard and the big, specifically, pick and roll and that sort of thing. But moving side to side and really just flying around on offense with a pace and looking to execute.
One of Heath Schroyer's favorite words.
Absolutely.
How many plays are actually being called? Because it seems like you guys have a lot of sets within that set, and this is very different from what BYU's had the last few years.
Yeah. What you saw last night wasn't too many actual play calls, but like you said, these concepts is what we're trying to do, and just that's the style of play that we're trying to develop and getting mostly just focusing on spacing, getting in the right spots, and then playing from there.
How much, or what would I have to do to convince you to ask Heath on offense one time? What concepts? What are you talking about? And he'd be like, "What? No!"
If Dalton wants to forfeit all of his time, he'll ask that question.
Looking at the bench like, what?
Heath, what's the concept? Yeah. I'll do that one time. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Dalton Nixon with us, BYU basketball sophomore. Hard to believe that you're only a sophomore, but hey, that's good news for Dave Rose. In fact, there are no seniors on this team.
And one freshman.
And only one freshman. How do you feel about the makeup of this team in terms of experience?
I think it feels really good. It's interesting for me because the only guys that I got to play with before the mission was Luke and Ryan, and so it's a completely new team. But we're really familiar with each other, and especially over the summer, we developed some team chemistry that has really put us in a position now to start seeing some things come together, and that's been really cool for us to be able to see our hard work and see us coming together at this point in the season.
Speaking of coming together, not a lot is known right now about what's going to go down with Nick Emery in that situation. And he's gone through some personal struggles recently. How has the team rallied to try and be as helpful as possible with Nick during this time?
Yeah, Nick's our guy. I personally absolutely love Nick, and I've been able to play AAU basketball with him growing up. And right now we're really just trying to focus on being together as a team. And Nick knows that we support him 100%, and he's completely a part of this team, and he's a big part of this team too in his contribution. And so we're just really trying to focus on working hard together, continuing to develop team chemistry, and letting Nick know that we're there for him.
So your coaches are bringing in some NCAA officials to practice today to kind of go over the new rule changes and how the pace of play goes and everything that goes into that. What do you think about the style of college basketball now? Because it has changed since you last played.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't think too many college basketball players have a 2-year gap where they have to come back and like readjust. And so it is something that is new, specifically like for me and Luke, who just got back from our missions, but just still trying to learn, and it's early in the season, and just trying to, like you said, learn the new rules and learn the new pace of play, and then just make adjustments.
What's the biggest change that you've noticed for you and Luke?
For me and Luke, I think just offensively and defensively, just some of the rules with like the post positioning is different, and so that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
So many off the ball whistles. I'm like, what? That's a foul now? What is that? Anyways, okay, let's end with this. Toughest class right now.
Toughest class. I'm in an advertising class. That's pretty tough.
Who's the teacher?
I'm spacing.
Wow. You want to keep it to yourself. I understand. Is there anything you want to say?
No, that's calculated. I can't remember the teacher's name because you're not going to call them out and affect your grade.
You know what? It's actually my favorite class now. Crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Hey, you've learned some things from your roommates, Jashir Hardnett, Kayjon Brown, and Peyton Dastrup.
That sounds like that would be a wild, crazy time.
The house of houses.
Absolutely, it is. It's so much fun rooming with those guys, man. It's a blast.
Dalton, great to have you back, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Give you some BYU Sports Nation karma.
And good luck in your advertising class with that one guy.
Yeah, you can use the karma in your advertising class and for the game against Colorado College next Wednesday.
Academic, athletic, all of it. Whatever, man. Yeah.
Aspiring BYU Sports Nation host, Dalton Nixon, and Yoli Childs.